Alright, so for you new people, a lot of this stuff might seem overwhelming. Just kind of roll with it and get what you can out of it. It'll really start to make sense when you're on the water. But for everyone else, stop me if I'm unclear or if anything is kind of vague, and I can just re-explain it in a different way. Because don't be afraid to say, like, wait, what is that? Alright, so first sheet you have is 10 Commandments for Beginners. This is general. It's just a good reiteration for later when you're looking over this stuff of the main rules of sailing. The rules we're going to focus on today are when boats meet, which is 10 through 17, and that's right of way, and that's obviously huge. What is right of way when we hit, when we're coming near each other? For the new people, a lot of times in sailing, boats get really close, so we have to have rules of the road to say who has to look out for who. And you're going to hear things like right of way, and that means that the right-of-way boat has power over the other boat. All right, the second sheet is a run-through in English of what the rules actually are, because the rules of sailing, if anyone has ever seen them, it's really big, it's long, and really convoluted. So we'll just watch the video and we'll go over each scene, and each scene is a different rule.
Handy guide to the racing rules. This presentation is a quick reference for the racing rules of sailing and is when boats meet. A boat is on the tack, starboard or port, corresponding to her windward side. A boat's windward side is the side that is towards the wind, except when running by the lee. On opposite tacks, the port tack boat must keep clear.
Do you want to explain what keep clear?
Okay, so this is starboard boat. I know it's right. Okay, the sail is on the port side of the boat. That's how you know that they're on starboard tack. Another way to know what tack you're on is the side of the side of the boat that the wind hits first. So if here's the boat, here's the front end, and the wind is coming from here, it hits the starboard side of the boat first. So you're on starboard tack. Port tack boat must keep clear. That means they must duck beneath the other boat and not hit them. Other rules you'll see is what happens when the boat doesn't keep clear. Well, both boats have to avoid, and one boat ends up with a penalty turn, which is 360 or 720.
The port tack boat must keep clear. In this example, the port tack boat will tack to keep clear of the starboard tack boat.
Okay, so downwind, it gets more complicated. Well, obviously you know now, but right here, this boat is on port tack because its boom is on the starboard tack. AKA, skipper, the side you're sitting on is the tack you're on. That's the easiest way I remember when I'm downwind team racing. Now, yeah, we'll just let it run.
This next example, the blue boat is on port and must keep clear of the yellow boat on starboard.
It doesn't matter if you're side by side. Port and starboard overrule all the other stuff. So right now, yellow boat is right away in blue. If blue starts coming on really fast, blue better look out. But the other thing is, when port and starboard boats, you have to give room to, you have to let the other boat have room to avoid. You can't just run into them and say, oh, I have right away. It doesn't work like that.
That's the part, room and opportunity.
Yeah.
Which is not ever said.
Clear astern, if not over, on the same tack. The boat to windward, if overlapped, or clear astern, if not overlapped, must keep clear.
Okay. Who wants to tell me what clear astern means? Someone raise your hand. Chris.
So you're clear astern when the line, you can see the dotted line on the blue boat there perpendicular to your transom. When the boat behind you has no part of their boat in normal sailing position. We don't have to deal with spinnakers, but so in this case it would just be the bow. When your bow is behind that line.
So here's a view of two boats. This is the bow. 20. There's an imaginary line that we call overlap. It's the line that extends from the transom. And you're overlapped when your bow crosses into where the stern is. So right here would be overlapped on the stern of this boat. So when boats are on the same tack, then you have to worry about windward leeward. Windward means you're closer to the wind. Simple as that. This boat is closer to where the wind is coming from, so it's windward. Windward boat, leeward boat. Basically, Rule 11 says the windward boat has to stay away from the leeward boat when you're overlapped. So that's overlap. Snazzy animation.
A boat clear astern.
I did spend a lot of time.
Wait, you made this?
No. Okay. Now we're on the same tack going downwind. It gets kind of tricky fast, but are you guys with me? Do you want me to go over anything else?
Wait, can you spell overlap again? Sorry.
Overlap?
Yeah.
Overlap. One word. Oh, go over overlap? I think you said spell overlap. I was like,
What did you say?
okay. Sure, I can go over.
Oh my gosh.
While he's drawing that, just so you guys know, RRS is the racing rules of sailing. Just so you know.
This is going to be a better drawing.
Boat,
got it? So, imaginary line extends from the front and back of every boat. So, that's your first boat. If a boat behind it, yeah, shut up, guys.
You're doing a great job.
Boats with AutoCAD. All right, raise your hand if you think these boats are overlapped. Got it?
Yeah.
So, imaginary line. Good question. Keep it coming.
Will you explain when it's important to say that? Just super briefly. Like,
Oh,
just like really briefly.
I don't want to confuse
Just
it.
to just say you need to look for it.
You need to look for overlap at some key times, like right there. There's going to be skippers who will stick their head at the back of the boat and say, "We're not overlapped," and you might be. You need to look out for that. There's signals like saying, "Overlap is broken," or "I have overlap," and you have to use arm signals for that. Okay. When boats meet on the same tack, going downwind. And this is getting intense, but basically, what you're going to see is when you have two boats going downwind, I'll back this up like a tiny bit.
A boat clear astern must keep clear.
This means if you're trailing a boat, you can't run into the boat in front of you. That's what Rule 12 is. How that works is, let's say blue slows down a ton. They have rights over yellow. That's actually it. You can't run into a transom. If you run into a transom, which is the back part of a boat, the penalty is always yours. That's it. On the same jack, not overlap.
And that's pretty common, right? If you're going downwind and you're stacked up like this, the boat behind is probably going to be blocking the wind from the boat in front of it. That's ideal. So
Yeah.
you're probably, this would be one of the more common situations.
Exactly. So what you should write down is never hit the back of another boat.
Is on a close halt.
Okay. Rule 13 says, after a boat passes head to wind, she shall keep clear of other boats until she is on a close hauled course. That means if a boat is tacking, they have no rights and they have to stay out of the way of all other boats until they're on a close hauled course. Now, on a close hauled course is a general term. What does that mean? What do you think it means?
It's you're like sails are trimmed in, you're heading up winds.
Okay, so sails upwind, or heading upwind, sails trimmed in. It's actually the first point that the jib fills, if you have a jib. The jib has to fill part way, but if your sails are luffing during any of that time, you're not on a close hauled course yet. If you don't come down to where your sails can fill. Your sails don't have to fill. That's weird, I've gotten thrown out in protest because my sails didn't fill. Yep.
And you mentioned that the boat was tacking from the time you go head to wind to the time you're at close haul. So you want to do anything with those lessons and stuff?
Yeah, this
We can stay pretty basic.
So you're tacking on your mains filling and your close haul course is established by your jib filling?
Yep, and it's specifically close haul course is defined as your current heading if you trimmed your sails and they would fill. So if you're luffing on purpose, it doesn't matter.
After a boat passes head to wind, she must keep clear of other boats until she is on a close-hauled course.
So blue can't run into yellow for the heck of it.
With another boat, if
Okay. Rule 14 basically keeps our money in our wallets. If a boat doesn't have right of way, and they're gonna hit someone, the other boat by this rule has to avoid. It means if you can get out of the way and avoid a collision, you have to. If you don't avoid a collision when you had a chance, even if you have right of way, you're gonna get chucked. So
I've been chucked for that.
yeah, I've been chucked for that.
Are you going to talk about breaking over that?
Breaking over that.
We can do that after.
Yeah, totally.
That'll probably come into play in
This
team
is
racing.
something that confuses me every time. So, in a scenario where there's port hits starboard, but starboard had room to avoid, and it goes to a protest, who wins that protest? Is it the port starboard situation, or the winner, like, starboard should have avoided, but they didn't?
Good question. It actually comes down to you can never generally prove in a room that the other boat didn't have time or had the opportunity to avoid. But if there's significant damage, it will be assumed that that boat had time to avoid and probably should have. So damage. When there's damage on a boat, Rule 14 is going to be talked about the umpires. So, yeah. Anything
There's
else?
No damage. Yeah, it takes a lot of damage to put the pressure on the starboard boat. Or put the protest on.
But like you take a picture of your boat, spider webbed where the other boat hit, they're probably going to get chucked.
Depends on where you're hit on your boat too.
Right. Like if it's in the, damage though has been the rule.
Well, depending on where you're hit, you can tell how the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
It's up to the judge's discretion. Is the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay. Shall not be penalized. The part B of this is shall not be penalized under this rule unless there's contact that causes damage or injury.